We are back with Red, White, and Brown by They See That Live's Tria, Mira, and Michael. We're going to give you a fabulous review of the fabulous Lives of Bollywood Wives season 2 with our very own Bollywood wife, Michael. Michael, tell us about the show.
Yeah, so when I was first told that I'd have to watch the show, I thought it was some sort of punishment in some way because I'm personally not one that watches even the Real Housewives, that takes place in the U.S. So let me tell you a little bit about these four best friends, Neelam, Maheep, Seema, and Bhavana, in this show. Really, I was kind of expecting like a reality TV show, but this really struck me more as a drama. A lot of the episodes they really take a stab at trying to show like some character development. FYI, I'm pretty oblivious to season one because I hadn't been dropped into this whole world to see season one. But with season two, I was able to see kind of like these characters, how they interact, and ultimately like rich girl problems. So, seeing a lot of these Bollywood housewives in Mumbai. Like in the very beginning, they're getting off of a yacht party and they're just complaining about how there was like a zero cell phone policy. They're gabbing about the dress that the bride was wearing, yada yada yada. And then it kind of takes you into the lives of these four in the next coming episodes. And really, like it's hard to make a drama out of this when really it should be a reality TV show. When you try and make a drama about some of these problems that really only pertain to a very small group of people, it didn't really come off the best way to me. I would have loved to have seen this maybe just be like reality TV. We're observing, and then we can maybe give a laugh or not. But some of these dramatic scenes in it just didn't quite land. It was kind of cringy. Also, just kind of, I don't know how to say it. Like it came off as like really shallow, but maybe that's just what the Real Housewives in general is kind of like. Sure, I know that you mentioned that you had watched this a little bit. What were you thinking?
I did. So I am somebody who is like I do not, let's be real, I do not enjoy watching reality TV shows, but I think at some point in everybody's life, they just need to watch things that make them feel brain dead. And so you're like, if you spend, all your hours of your day working and you're worrying about this and you're worrying about that, and last thing you need is to like turn on TV and you're watching like a murder mystery or something that really uses a whole lot of brain power. And for those reasons, I happen to love watching shows like this, where I didn't need to think because I was like, there's no way, absolutely in no world would I relate to any single one of these people's problems. Like their drama was completely unrelatable. The problems that they had were completely unrelatable. It was like so out of touch with reality that it was almost nice because I was like, this is probably not what a normal person goes through. And I loved watching like their little cat fights. I loved watching them try to one up each other with the fashion. Speaking of which, these are some yummy mummies because like the way these girls dress, I was like, y'all better be making some bank, or like your man's better be making some bank, or like whatever. That's the whole point, right? They're just like rich people. Like the bank that they make for the buck and like their decked out closets. If I watched it for nothing else, at least for the fashion, because they're all beautiful. They're all beautiful. They're all fit. They're all healthy, and they are all just like dressed to the nines. Like if you were going to the Oscars tomorrow, they would just be like, oh yeah, I have something ready in my closet for that. Like, let's just go to the Met Gala. I got something. Like, it's totally fine. I just bought this yesterday, casual dinnerware. And Mike is right. Every single part of like every single thing that comes out of these women's mouths are very shallow. It's like complete shallow statements, but it's still somehow enjoyable to watch. It's like watching Love Island. It's like watching Real Housewives. It's like watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. You don't watch those because
it is India's Kardashians. I thought it was
exactly.
But the only
India's
thing
first
that I thought
family.
about this season, and I don't know if you watched season one, because we reviewed season one now as well, guys. It's on our website. Go ahead and read the review. But season one wasn't this rehearsed. This actually was so highly rehearsed that you can figure out that was rehearsed.
Well, for sure. I agree. I feel like the part that Michael was talking about where he mentioned saying like you'd rather have just watched this be a little bit more of a reality show. I was like, yeah, it's like a halfway between this and a halfway between that. It's not like a full scripted show, but at the same time, it's not completely unscripted because there's portions of it where you're like, okay, you're definitely staging like these moments to happen. And I'm like, I don't know if you're trying to like make it appeal more to the audience, but for whatever reason, I think it took away from the initial point of like what they were trying to do, which
It was
is
heavily
follow
engineered.
lives.
heavily
Mhm.
engineered. For example, Bhavana Pandey wants to renew her vows with her husband Chunky Pandey because they've been married for 24 years or so. And basically, the others start trolling her for that cringe idea, and even her kids don't like the idea as well. But isn't this akin to Shania Kapoor's debutante ball in Paris, where she's the season's debutant? I mean, literally, Bollywood was doing stuff like that in the last season. Uh, there is this entire stage thing of Sanjay Kapoor telling his wife that I can't divorce you because only rich people can divorce. And you're like, well, what are you just trying to say here? I mean, literally, what kind of a divorce are you thinking? Then Seema, who was the sister-in-law of Salman Khan. She was married to his younger brother, Sohail Khan, and now they're divorced. So she's starting off her own life, and she changes the nameplate of the house, and she puts her name and her kid's name on it without the last name. And she has this entire convincing discussion with her son, trying to explain why she dropped the last name Khan. And I thought that was pretty crazy. And then her new brand of clothing is called Wasted. It's like, what were you thinking? Because we're thinking we're wasting our time literally watching this. Yes, we're totally wasted. But then there was this acrimonious thing between her and Neelam Kothari, where she's blaming Neelam for drifting apart in their friendship. And Neelam's like, yeah, my priorities changed. I got married, I had a kid, but she just doesn't understand it, and which is so weird because she herself was married and her priorities was something else, and
Yes.
she's just blaming.
You know what they took a book out of the page of? That's straight up a Kardashian theme. Remember, everybody comes at Kourtney because Kourtney consistently is like, I can't do the show anymore, or like, my family's first, like my priorities are my family first, family first, family first. And the entire rest of the Dash West family is like making fun of her for it, right? And it really reminded me of that. It's like they were trying to relate character arcs in a way. They were just like basically taking pieces from reality TV in the past that has really worked with certain audiences, and they're like, hold on, let's put it right here.
He knows the formula. He's looking at other shows and seeing what worked in
Exactly.
other semi-reality shows and putting it over there. But Maheep, as a woman, she's so crass, she's so crude, she's so rude. I mean, the way she talks to people, the language she uses. I mean, she tells Seema that people saying that you got busy in life is all cock and bull. I mean, it was infuriating to watch the woman, and the way she's such a motor mouth. But maybe that sells for Karan Johar, I guess. But the sanest person on the show is Neelam Kothari's husband, Samir Soni. And that entire conversation between them where, Neelam says there's a kissing scene in a show I'm doing, and he's trying to tell her how a kissing scene is. Especially, when they bring the intimacy coordinator on set, and, it's, I really, I think he's the sanest person because he talks a lot of sense throughout the show. But yeah, like it's too much cringe.
It's what you expect. It's at the end of the day, rich people problems, and you just sit there watching them with like no intention.
The best episode was when Karan Johar sets up Seema to date the singer Badshaw, and he's there and he's trying to get them together, and they're teasing them, and the whole episode was such a hoot because they're so embarrassed that
they act 20. They literally act like they're 20s going on dates for the first time, like falling in love for the first time kind of thing. It's like, it's very age inappropriate to me. Like, I was like, it's like they act so much younger than they actually are. Like, it's like they themselves sometimes forget that they're not 20 years
supposedly mature mothers of women who are dating, are literally about to get married. But having said that, I think that's it from us for Fabulous Lives. I think that's where we stop being fabulous and we stop watching it.